Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jason. Today I will share you my thoughts about Leica M3. So Leica M3 is very historical. It's one of the best-selling Leica in the history. It's over sold 1 million pieces, and they have a serial number in each one. So this is the later version. So the later version is like starts from 90,000. So I like this camera a lot because it's my first time to filming. Because in China I always playing very old film camera, but it's more plastic made by Japan, and this one is a really good one. It's kind of made by brass, and I first bought the first version of Leica M3. It's only cost me about $550 with a lens on it, and this camera costs, the later version cost me about $800 for the body only. But the best thing is that I drop the lens when I'm doing the focus things because I'm familiar with rangefinder, so I happily press these buttons when I'm doing the focus, and then the lens drop. But the quality of Leica lens is really good. It hurts, it cracks the ground, and the lens can still be work. The bad thing is that the mount is a little bit awkward. So, and the best thing that the Leica really holds its value. Through it was a little bit broken, and I selling the camera and the body together to the eBay. I don't lose a lot of money. I only lose kind of 10% of processing fee. It's kind of the money I paid before. So I think like after 1 or 2 years, I still thinking about this camera, so I buy this camera again. And this camera really has some very good things. You can know that. The first thing is the outlook. So the overview of the camera is really nice looking, and it was made by brass, so it's a little bit heavy. So, but for me, I'm not a person who like heavy cameras. So this is my current like one-on-one days video. So it's kind of very similar, right? So it's made by alumni, so it's much lighter, but the feeling is really different. So I really like the feeling of this because whenever you kind of like press the thing, so it's very sexy ones. And then when you're doing the shutters, and the shutter sound is really light, and also you can have different amounts of like M lenses on it. And the good thing about M3 compared with other film Leica is that the viewfinder is really big. It's much bigger than the old versions, but the bad thing is that it can only take 50mm lens, otherwise you cannot have wide angle. So for me, I like the 50mm lens, so Leica M3 is one of the perfect camera for me. And compared with digital Leica, though they don't have meters. One thing is they don't have meters, but usually digital Leica's meter is not functionally as it was. So I played with my friends Type 262 and Leica MP240. They have similar functions issues, and the viewfinder is not as bright as these ones. And also sometimes you need to consider about the framework in the digital Leica. So yeah, I'm not rich enough to buy digital Leica, so I think this one is really good and really holds value. And another thing I want to talk about this camera is that if you want to buy a Leica M3, then you need to pay more attention about it, because a lot of times the shutter speed is a little bit slow, so which means that you will be overexposed or underexposed, because it's like 60 years old cameras. You need to pay a lot of money to clean it. So you can buy it on eBay, so then you don't need to worry about it. If the camera is not as described as in the post, you can just let the seller accept your returns. And another thing I will talk about that is a rangefinder. So because this is a rangefinder, which means that you will have two images. Like this image is what you want to see, and this images is the lens sync, how it goes, and then it will collapse. When it collapses, that means you are in focus. But so if the images are kind of up and down, you don't need to worry about it. It's very easy to fix. But if the image cannot be collapse in the infinity range, then you definitely should not buy the camera, because it will be very difficult for you to make it happen right. And because infinity is not a big deal, you can manually focus, but it really affects for the close range focusing capabilities. So that's why you need to, whenever you have a Leica M camera, you need to have at least one Leica M lens to test about the infinity range. Make sure the rangefinder is good, good working conditions. Otherwise, it may take you about like $200 or $300 to just fix these kind of issues. The camera is only talking about like 5 to 1,000. If it's not worthwhile for you to spend 50% more of money to just fix it. And normally like one repair is cost you $150, so it's not cheap, and but it's really fun. So I use this camera a lot, especially when I was working in New York. I play this camera a lot, and I buy this lens from Korea, like a lover, and you can have a lot of things to share with people who own this kind of Leica M system, because it's just kind of group, like people like cameras, like the best quality of the camera. So let me know if you need more information about Leica M3. Just give me a comment. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the video. I will talk to you more about cameras. Thank you. See you guys soon. Bye.